Hi YouTube, welcome back. So continuing today with the tattoo theme, I just did a video of a tattoo tour, my tattoos. So if you want to watch that, please feel free. And now I'm going to do a little general tattoo talk about my thoughts and opinions and just a little bit of the aftercare that I do. So just another little disclaimer, this video will be talking about tattoos. If you do not like tattoos, please do not watch. So I'll jump right into the tattoo aftercare. What do I do? There have been two different styles of aftercare, I guess. Well, I should say wrapping, like how they bandage it and stuff, that I've been to with two different shops, or I've been to several different shops. So I guess two kinds of wrapping between all the shops that I've been to. So the most common one that I've ever had was they just wrap it with like regular medical bandages and tape, and they send you off on your way. They tell you to remove the bandage after like 8 hours, and then you just clean it and then keep it dry. The second way is it's like a plastic tape, big. It comes in any sizes, and they put it on you, and they tell you to keep it on for like 48 hours to 3 days or something, and then you wash it when you remove it and clean the area and keep it dry. So I almost prefer the second way. I think just because it's easier and it's like hassle-free and it won't fall off, and you don't have to worry about, it just stays really put, the bandage. Yeah, so I don't know. I've never really had an issue with either or. And then after, of course, you try to avoid water as much as possible. So like, don't go to a pool, don't sit in a hot tub. Yeah, because then the ink could fade and not look as nice. I also use, because after 3 days it starts to dry out and kind of scab, I use just a non-scented body lotion, Vaseline. That's what I use just to kind of get rid of the itch, because again, if you itch it and scratch at the scabs, it will not heal properly and it won't look nice. I also, with my tattoos, avoid the sun as much as possible. So if I know I'm going to be outside and I might get burned, I wear really strong sunscreen, at least on my tattoos, if not all over me. I'm really fair, so I will burn super. So, I mean, it's just good to wear sunscreen for anybody at any skin tone, but especially people with tattoos, I would recommend at least putting, sunscreen on your tattoos, but you probably should just put it on all over. But that's what I do. Yeah, so that's just sort of like my aftercare and what I do with my tattoos. I've heard from several artists that my tattoos, my skin just heals really well, and when they tattoo me, my skin just takes the ink really well. So that's just what they say. Also, I guess I'll get into like some frequently asked questions. People often ask me, do you regret any of your tattoos? The answer is no. I do not regret any of my tattoos. I've never had to cover up any of my tattoos with another tattoo or laser any of my tattoos. These are all the originals. That's it. I've never had to even get any redone. I like all of them. No regrets so far. So I've been getting tattooed for 10 years, so I'm really happy about that. Another question I often get is, how much have you spent on tattoos? Well, a lot, probably too much. If I were gonna ballpark it, probably $10,000. Sounds ridiculous, I know. However, again, I've been doing this for 10 years, so when you factor in how much people might spend on other hobbies like hockey, or I don't know, going out eating, drinking, that stuff's expensive too, and this is just a hobby of mine, so it's like anything else. It costs money, and you ultimately, get what you pay for. I guess that will lead me into don't go to like a shitty shop. Try to go to like something that's well known or better, just because you could get really sick from it if it's dirty, and not clean. And also just like the craftsman's work, like the artistry, I guess you should say. It's just, it won't be there. Like, you really and truly do get what you pay for. Quality is really a must, just because you're gonna have this forever and you want it to be done as nice as possible, because ultimately when you get older it probably won't look as nice as the day you got it. So you want it to look nice when you're younger, because a bad tattoo will look bad when you're young, but it's gonna look a whole lot worse when you get older. people often say to me also, like, oh, it's going to look so bad when you're old. Yes, it probably will look kind of bad, but you know what? We're all going to look kind of bad when we get older. So I'm just going to be, you know, I'd rather live a fuller life and do what I want than not have any regrets. You know, I'm more concerned about aging healthily than what a tattoo will look like when I'm older. Yeah, that's just how I feel about that. I want my body to kind of look like a quilt, scrapbook, you know, and these are all pieces and parts of my life, and I just want it to be interesting. It will look interesting when I'm old. I do guess people probably also tend to maybe judge you when you're heavily tattooed, or if you have like a crazy style. I mean, people are gonna judge you regardless, so you might as well do whatever the fuck you want within reason. But like, I don't know. I do feel like sometimes people are judging me, and then some people just don't care. But like I said, people are gonna judge you regardless. So if they're gonna judge you, do you really want those kind of people in your life? Probably not. I do realize that like some friends and family members will probably judge you depending on what kind of background and your family's political views probably. I come from a pretty liberal family, so I was really lucky. However, my parents still, you know, my dad has a couple of tattoos and so does my brother, but it's still, I guess because I'm the firstborn and I'm the girl, when I started getting bigger pieces on me and like on my arms especially, things that were always visible, even my father was like, I never thought my little girl would get tattooed. Well, you know, I'm still gonna be your little girl, I'll just be a tattooed little girl. But you know, and I guess that sort of made me like a little, you know, but ultimately, you know, I have to do what I want to do. I'm not gonna just not do something because my parents don't like it. So they're okay with it now. They don't care. They like them a lot. They talk about them. They ask me about them and stuff. But like in the beginning, I think they were a little like, ugh, you know. But they didn't judge me or shun me or anything. They were just like not. They wasn't their first choice of hobby that I could have picked up, you know, or interest. So I guess what I could say for advice, if your parents are gonna judge you and stuff, that's something that you ultimately will have to live with. So choose wisely, because if you know it's going to hurt your parents and you're not happy about that, well, maybe tattoos aren't for you. But if you don't care and it's something that you really want to do, you know, go for it. So I mean, it is your body and it is your life at the end of the day. Yeah, so those are some things that I get asked a lot. I don't know, I think that my tattoo journey has been probably, I guess now that I'm older, if I had to like pinpoint why I started getting tattoos, I think when I was younger, without even realizing it, obviously most females and even some guys are, we're all self-conscious, right? We're all worried about like what people think of us and like the way we look and what people are going to judge us, and it's a horrible cycle. It's really sad actually. But I was really self-conscious growing up in my teens and like early 20s. I was super self-conscious, you know, about my weight. I'd go up and down all the time, you know, and I was worried about the way I would look. And I think when I started getting tattooed, looking back on it now, probably because of some things that happened in my childhood and, you know, early adulthood, I think I started getting tattoos to sort of cover up my body, which sounds really sad. I didn't want people to look at my body. I probably didn't even want to look at my body. So I think I got them to sort of cover it up, and so people would be looking at the tattoos, not my body. I don't know. It was just sort of like I could use them as a shield kind of thing, which sounds kind of sad, but that's the way I think it sort of started as well. Now I don't care, but I mean at the time that's definitely what had happened, I think. So I'm glad that I'm over that. I think most people as they get older do feel comfortable in their skin more, which is a blessing, thank God. But if I had to really think about it, that was definitely why. And sometimes people will ask me about that, and if I feel comfortable enough, I'll tell them that. And then they still judge you on that too. So it's like, well, what the fuck? If I'm honest with you, you don't like that answer either. So I don't know. You know, you can't please everybody. That's the bottom line and the truthful line. Do I have plans on getting more tattoos? Absolutely. I would love to get this arm done, my right arm done, in a somewhat covered sleeve. It's prime real estate at this point, right? So I'm kind of waiting. It's probably gonna be my last big arm piece, so I'm kind of deciding what I want to put there. And cost. Cost has a factor in tattoos too. I'd probably have more if they were cheaper, but they're not, so it is what it is. Yeah, I have plans for a few more. I mean, maybe I'll spend another 10 grand on them by the time I'm dead. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't regret any. I'm gonna keep getting them, and that's pretty much it. I like them, and I hope you guys like them too. And I will talk to you guys soon. All right, bye.